Modern Warfare 2 had one of the best single-player story campaigns of any Call of Duty ever made, and I feel like Call of Duty in general has been trying to replicate that success ever since. This is what made the franchise, what made the campaigns and the characters so relatable, and featured so many cool things that, honestly, it's top tier in the world of Call of Duty in my books. It also featured one of the most controversial missions in Call of Duty history, the No Russian mission.
Remember, no Russian.
I'm sure everybody's played it by now, but you go and shoot up a Moscow International Airport as a false flag attack to bring Russia and the United States into war, and it works. And it's led by Makarov, who becomes the instigator of pretty much the next two games at this point. Now, the ending of the Modern Warfare 2 remake, which takes kind of like the same characters and tries to redo the story in its own special little way, making Shepard the bad guy pretty much right off the bat on this one, but doesn't feature Makarov really at all, features a no Russian scene where there's an airplane in the post-credit scenes. There's terrorists loading up plastic guns, throws the phone in the drink, and it says, remember, no Russian. And a lot of people were starting to say, oh, here comes Makarov, and we might be getting a No Russian remake. And that got me thinking, this day and age, what would a No Russian remake look like? What are we going to get if they do remake No Russian? Is it going to be as brutal and controversial as it is before? Or is it going to be a little toned down? Just because, you know, the day and age, everyone's very soft. Well, we might have to wait a little bit longer. They did show the reveal trailer for Modern Warfare 3, which looks amazing and actually features some pretty cool stuff, like being able to finish a mission however you want, open-ended missions. So you can do it stealthy, you can choose to skip objectives, and I think that's pretty cool. It kind of gives it its own little kind of aspect to do missions the way you want, not very linear, but it's kind of half and half. Half are linear, half are open source, and where you can kind of do whatever you want to finish the mission however you please. The big part of the trailer was getting to Makarov, and it seemed like he was in a prison this time, so it doesn't look like he's out operating on his own. But with the post-credit scene and the fact that Makarov is involved in Modern Warfare 3, what could we be getting with a No Russian? We definitely have been teased with a No Russian moment, whether that's a playable mission or a cutscene. We don't really know yet. But during the trailer, there were talks about how they're shooting civilians. We see ICBMs launching outside of their silos. And, you know, it got me thinking, what is Call of Duty going to do with this? Okay, so Call of Duty lately has been pretty soft. As you saw, they actually got Nick Merckx with saying, you know, let's not make it about the kids. Totally removed his skins from it. You know, overreaction, knee-jerk momentum there from Call of Duty. But I don't think Call of Duty or Activision has the balls to make a No Russian in 2023. I don't think they have the damn balls to do this kind of mission in this day and age. And I don't think they will either. I think the hype over this, the fact that people are talking about maybe it's coming back, maybe it's going to be remade, maybe it's going to be tweaked into a new mission. A lot of people were even saying that, like, the No Russian scene, they're on the aircraft with the plastic weapons. Maybe it's the Call of Duty's world version of 9/11 that's going to take place and blame it on some other country or something like that. But I don't even think that's true. I really think we're going to get some bastardized version of No Russian or a cutscene or something you can't play. Because there's no freaking way in hell Activision is going to make a game where you go shoot up a damn airport in 2023. There's no way. I don't believe it for 1 second. Which is the sad thing about this entire situation. It's a game, honestly. I'm a Marine. You guys know I served in the Marine Corps. I, fought in Iraq. I shoot Marines daily, every day in video games. Doesn't bother me. It's a fucking video game. I don't care. I'm not shooting Marines. I'm shooting pixels. But any sort of with the mass shootings and everybody being very sensitive about gun violence and things like that, I don't think we're going to get No Russian. I think, we're not going to be able to play out a terrorist attack for the betterment of the narrative of the story. I think Activision is going to do something smaller where Makarov is in control of nuclear weapons and launches them on the United States or whatever to instigate the war. I think that would be the easiest course because, one, it's anti-nuke. And, you love how people in California don't like, nuclear weapons and they want them gone. It's less interactive. You're not the bad guy. You're not playing the bad guy. And I think it's less controversial because it's the last thing they want. They literally have a franchise that sells itself. They could fuck it up every single day and people are still going to buy it. I literally just buy it for the campaign now. I'll play a little bit of the multiplayer and then I'm done after a week. But it's such an ingrained franchise because of the original Modern Warfares and Call of Duty 4 that they could really, they can't catch lightning in a bottle because they've tried to remake it and it doesn't work. They had this perfect, for Modern Warfare 2, going against the cartels, it was a perfect situation to make a really gritty Modern Warfare game and totally bastardize it. It was terrible. They have the ability to make Makarov and redo the no Russian missions. And yeah, I don't think they're going to do it because they're lazy. They literally remake the entire game over and over again. Great graphics. Always runs pretty well. But it sells itself. They could literally make a shitty story and no one's going to give a shit. They're going to buy the next one the next year. And that's pretty much how it rolls with Call of Duty now. I think the day and age of telling really dark, gritty stories in a video game format that would be acceptable for cinema, but in a video game form where you are actually playing the actor, I think those days and age are over for big-time AAA developers. I don't think they're going to be that gritty. I don't think we're going to get anything close to no Russian because they overreacted to one content creator's opinion and knee-jerked, and then they're adding all of a sudden, you know, rappers and freaking superheroes from movies into their damn game. Honestly, they're just in it for the money. They don't care. They want the least amount of bad news that they could possibly get and then roll with it at that point. That's basically what Activision and Call of Duty is all about. We're going to put out a product. People are still going to buy it. No bad rep, you know, no bad news from it. And just let people buy it. We'll reap in the rewards and get started on the next one. And that's exactly what's going to happen with this. But here's the issue with that. How long until all of us just decide we're done? I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because we get the new generation coming in that never got to experience the original Modern Warfares. This is the Modern Warfare they're growing up on. They never got to experience the great stories, the great multiplayer, and they probably never will. And all they know is this new Call of Duty universe with this dumbed down crap every 10 seconds and these terrible stories. And they think it's the greatest thing ever because it's a shooter, AAA shooter, and they're finally getting to play it that they've been waiting for so long. And that's the market Activision and Call of Duty have now. Us old school guys that grew up on this, you know, played it in their teens, their 20s, they don't care about us. They just want this new generation that literally either has to play Fortnite, Apex, or Call of Duty, and they're going to pick Call of Duty every single time. And that's kind of like where we fall into. All of us older generation, we're kind of the boomers of Call of Duty, and they don't really give a shit, and they're just going to put out the least offensive thing as possible that basically can rake them in the most money. And that's the sad fact. But I could be wrong. Somebody in Activision or Call of Duty could have gotten some balls, reach down there and realize, hey, I got some nuts, and might put out a banger of a Call of Duty story. I highly doubt it, but I'm really hoping that someone finally stood up to somebody else and said, you know what, fuck it, let's do this shit. I highly doubt it, but I'm hopeful that someone did. But it is this new generation, 2023. Who freaking knows? Anyways, boys, I want to know what you think. You think they're going to do a no Russian remake, or do you think we're getting some bastardized version of it that's not offensive? Let me know down in the comments below. Talk to you guys later. Peace.